Hi friend, my name is Aslan, and I'd like to welcome you to what I call a heart to art. Now this is a new way of me doing one of these videos, because typically before I would just draw like some video game characters while also talking about other video game related stuff. And I found that that didn't work very well. I wanted to make more meaningful, impactful videos today. And I'm not my dorky, silly self during this video because I don't feel like it would be appropriate. I totally could. It's not that I'm in a bad mood. I'm not. It's just, I don't feel like it would be appropriate, but maybe here and there, who knows. But the idea of this video is that I bring up a topic and I draw something. Right now I have a prompt for like a wandering traveler sitting at a campfire. I just drew the outline early, that way, because I usually have like a blank period where I'm trying to figure out what I'm drawing, and then I just kind of wanted to make sure that I knew what I was drawing. Kind of got a little bit of a head start because my camera gave up on me 5 minutes into the video, so this is my second take. But today I wanted to talk about people pleasers. That is the topic for today. Now, when it comes to the topic of people pleasers, I am not singling anybody out. Absolutely not. Mostly because I am one, or I don't want to say I used to be one, because I certainly still feel like it's there. And I feel like it was affected by, certain people that just didn't accept me for who I was. And, I feel like that's very common in a lot of people pleasers. They just run into too many people that are not happy with the type of people that they want to be. And I feel like I sometimes, when I try and not be a people pleaser, sometimes it can go a little too far. And I want you guys to watch out for this as well, because if it happens to me, it might happen to you too. If you're trying not to be a people pleaser, sometimes we have the tendency to try and counter that by almost being mean. And I can tell you, like, I don't want to say being mean is in my nature. Sometimes it can come off that way when I'm trying my best not to act that way. Sometimes I have this, screw that mentality, if I really don't want to deal with something, or if I feel like, something isn't just like, if I'm not in a people pleasing mood, sometimes I just go too far, and it's something to watch out for, at least for me. Could be for you as well. But on the topic of people pleasing, I have some bullet points that I think are worth mentioning. And forgive me for looking on both of my screens. The camera gave up and my mirror program gave up, and probably will give up. That one will probably happen more often. So I'm checking both screens, making sure everything's running. So I know I'm supposed to be giving eye contact, but I am juggling 3 screens right now: the tablet and my 2 monitors, and eyesight with you. So again, bear with me. My first bullet point: making everyone happy isn't the goal. Your happiness is. Now, one thing that I want to get out the way is that, yeah, you want to prioritize your happiness. Absolutely. But that doesn't mean you have to feel entitled to be, having everything go your way. And if it is harming others, then that also is not what is a good way of prioritizing your happiness. And ways that you can prioritize your happiness without hurting others, I find, is through meditation. And meditation does not mean you get to sit in a corner with your legs crossed going om. That's not what meditation means. It could be, well, what I'm doing right now. I find that doing YouTube is very therapeutic for me. Talking, even if it's to no one, can be therapeutic. Drawing is therapeutic. So I'm kind of doing all of that at once, and I consider that a form of meditation, especially since I'm nice and chill right now, not in crackhead mode. And I don't necessarily have a clear idea of what he's gonna look like. I just know that he's gonna have long hair and a beard and a robe or a cape or something like that, and he's gonna be sitting by the fire. So that's my idea, at least. And another bullet point that I'd like to bring up is you are not for everyone. You're just not, and everyone is not for you. Even family sometimes, especially family. Sometimes the people that'll be displeased with you the most might end up being family. And if that's the case, then that's a really unfortunate circumstance. And it's not something that I typically have to deal with. Me and my family are actually very solid. We are more than solid. And but you know, there are some family members like on the outer side that can be a problem, and you know, things have happened in the past, and then that'll happen for everyone. But even the people that we try to impress, the people that we like, sometimes, even if they're extremely nice, sometimes they're not for us, because people being nice to us doesn't necessarily mean they get us. It's just them being nice, and that's still a good thing. You know, it's still good to have nice friends, but if they don't get you, you know, it's a big deal. At least for me, I have a basic sketch for what I want to do with the hands, but I've never done anything like this, so this is going to be very interesting. I'm going to need to make those arms a little, like the wrists, a little skinnier, I want to say. Yeah, just got some big wrists. If you're progressing in life, you know, just like bettering yourself, and you find that you're with people that aren't doing that, sometimes they can be a problem. Generally, if you're in a relationship, either romantic or, you know, family, friends, depending on the vibration levels of both sides determines whether or not you guys stick around that long. If you're bettering yourself and they're not, you know, even if they, you know, love you and understand you, if they're not on that same vibration level, it's going to cause discomfort for them and you even. So there'll be a natural want for separation, and sometimes distance is good. And I know this kind of sounds like, you know, turning into a hermit is the solution to everything. No, it's not. I just find that it's a good filter. It's a good filter to have. It's a way to filter out the people that might not work well with you. Okay, so far this is actually kind of going okay. I'm just kind of going off of my brain, and I feel like this is working. This is interesting. Yeah, not bad, not bad. Yeah, I'd like to see AI do hands like this, because, you know, it's off topic, but you know, I was listening to a story about someone losing their job to AI, and I just furthered my hate for the idea of AI art. I don't consider myself an absolute professional artist. I'm not. I don't have the practice hours. I have the potential. I'll give myself that I have the potential to be a professional artist if I dedicated my life to it. But a lot of what I want to do is tied to art, and the fact that AI art is kind of attacking my dreams right now is especially really ticking me off. So just a little side thing that's going on. But you know, I'd like to see AI. No, well, metaphorically, I'd like to see AI, you know, try and come up with the personality of real artists, you know, the heart of what actually is art. I don't know if I did it correctly, but it actually looks fairly decent right now. Right now you just only see 4 fingers, so I'm gonna add another one. I think that came out really well, actually. I mean, maybe I'm not seeing something. I've never done like hands clasped like that before. I think it actually came out okay. But anyways, on the topic of like different vibration levels and, you know, people that we love and care for, and if we're on different levels, one of 2 things will happen. And sadly, one happens more than the other. And that's if someone is higher up than the other, this person will typically bring this person down, or at least they'll try. Now, actually, one of three things. There's a third option. So higher person could be brought down, or lower person could be brought up, or they separate. That's the third option. And typically you see a lot of separation or being brought down. Being raised up is a lot harder. That is a lot harder. It's the right one, but it's the hard one, of course, because can't have anything nice in this world. Okay, so I'm now going to try and work on the face and clothes, preferably the clothes now. So I think we're just gonna go with kind of like a Link looking, you know, like tunic kind of and boots kind of thing, you know, like kind of like Zelda style. And just for the record, a lot of this is, you know, I mean, don't get me wrong, I am observational and, you know, semi-philosophical, and you probably would have never guessed that, but a lot of that actually comes from my mom. So shout outs to my mom. And if I ever say anything wrong, it is not her, that's me. You know, I bet that she's watching this right now, so hi mom. Yes, me and her have lots of good talks, and I thought it would be nice to share in my videos. And surprisingly, talking while doing art is pretty easy. It didn't used to be in my other heart to art videos of randomness. God forbid anyone actually watch those, because I rewatched them. I'm like, what is this? But you know, having an actual like model to work off of, it's a lot easier to just get my thoughts out. No, that looks wrong. That looks better, but still, yeah, maybe I should lower the opacity. And I don't know if I'm gonna end up with a finished picture, I'm not gonna lie. So if I need to leave early, I'll finish it later, and I'll probably have a time lapse and, you know, like finished product, hopefully. Yeah, but this is different for me. Normally when I'm drawing, I typically either draw video game related characters or original characters, and I, you know, due to copyright reasons that I, you know, hope to someday publish my stuff, I tend to hide my original characters, and I'm very proud of them, actually, to the point where they've kind of taken over my life, and I wish I could share it with you. I really wish I could share it with you guys, because I think they are special. But, you know, hopefully it's motivation for me to actually publish them in either an animated form, graphic novel form, or video game form. Video game form would be like my preference, but oh my goodness, that would be so much work. Next bullet point. People will always have expectations of you, and the ones that change those expectations are usually the open-minded people. People who are not so open-minded don't typically change their expectations. And what I mean by expectations is that they look at you and they immediately get a feel for you, how you work, what you are, what you do, you know, how they can use you to benefit them, stuff like that. Yeah, sometimes people's expectations can be absolutely absurd. Sometimes people can, you can do all of the right things. All of the right things. You could not be hurting anybody. You could, matter of fact, you could be serving them on a silver platter. And sometimes they just don't care. They'll still find something wrong with what you were doing. Let's just say recent, and we had some recent events regarding that, and not happy times. And those are the types of people that you typically want to avoid. If people are so like focused on what you're doing wrong versus what you're doing right, then you need to, I would highly recommend to leave those people as soon as possible. And those people are everywhere. Okay, I'm gonna attempt to make a cape, see how this goes. Not bad so far. I'm actually quite impressed with this, and I'm just going on the fly right now. You know, I actually had a little bit of a unfortunate moment. It doesn't bother me anymore, and I knew this coming into YouTube, but I had a really random commenter show up on one of my videos. It was like the one where I announced my second channel. They watched like 10 seconds, the first 10 seconds of that video, and you know, I was just being my goofy self. It was all for comedic effect. It is who I am. I'm a ridiculous human being on purpose. I'm actually, like, when I'm in autopilot, I am kind of mellow, sometimes really quiet. So if I'm in like crackhead mode or whatever, it's usually because I'm doing it on purpose. So but this person just saw the first 10 seconds of my video, and I got rid of the comment because it did no good. and you know, it would have opened up the floodgates of people possibly dogpiling, or people would have maybe seen it and like would have randomly agreed with it for whatever reason. They said like, what in the cringe showed up in my recommended today? I was half tempted to comment and say the good stuff, the good kind, the good cringe, and I will stand by that. It is good cringe. I get that I'm cringe, but I embrace it. And those types of people, and here's the mean part that I was talking about. I don't want to be mean. I just, you know, when I'm not in people pleasing mode, I want people to vanish, so to speak, in nice terms. But no, not really. I'm actually quite a pacifist. But when you throw me off, I will bite. I will bite quite hard, actually. Now, making the character is actually like, it's not the part that worries me. It's making the stump in the background and like the fire that I'm worried. Like I'm really good at characters and stuff like that, in my opinion. But when it comes to like backgrounds and you know, elements, you know, in the background and stuff like that, like this campfire, technically it'd be the foreground, but stuff like that, I don't do that stuff. I don't do animals either. I mostly have practiced doing people, and you know, I'm trying to get out of that loop, so to speak, because if I want to be a story writer or, you know, concept artist, I got to get over that hoop. Got to get through that hoop, over that hurdle. I did this exact same thing in one of my other heart to art videos where I think I said, what did I say? It was like connect the dots, but I crossed it over with something else. I don't know. It was something. It was like in my very first video. I mixed something up with connect the dots. It was funny. But yeah, you know, you can have standards, but exercise not trying to be mean, because sometimes I feel like I can be kind of mean when I'm not in a people-pleasing mood. And you know, it's only natural to try and, you know, make a lot of people happy, but you know, sometimes there's a desperation where you're trying to make people that just literally can't be happy, and you're stuck in a never-ending rut of your own unhappiness, because these people are not happy with you no matter what, and it's not a good place to be in. So just watch out for it, because it's sneaky. This is coming out brilliantly. I love this. This is really good. I'm still only in the sketch phase. Don't think I'm gonna be outlining it with like, you know, clean marker or anything like that. There was a character I made that was just in like the pencil brush, and then like I went for like a Crayola marker kind of like coloring art style and stuff. I loved it, so I might try and replicate that here. This is nice. I like this. I feel nice and zen, and I feel very open right now. How are you doing, by the way, my friend? It can be a tough world sometimes, and I just hope I'm out there for someone. I use this new app that lets me play with like a wooden puppet doll for posing and stuff like that. I've been using that a lot lately, but I recently found out that it does not work very good for like really dynamic posing, or like foreshortening, or just like, I don't know, like it wasn't getting the pose that I was looking for in a certain picture. So I'm glad that I ditched the doll for that one picture, because no matter what pose I put the doll in, it was not working. So I'm very happy with the picture now. Very good. And it's one of those characters that I made that I wish I could share, especially this one. Oh my god, I love this character a lot. It's actually named after my middle name, so it's kind of a little personalized character, a little bit. You know, I was planning on having this strictly just be about the topic, but you know, sprinkling in a couple little things, you know, that's going on. You know, actually, I didn't expect I was going to be doing that, but it works for me. I like it. So yeah, I'm actually really impressed with how this is looking. I love doing line art. It is so fun. And it's so fun for this reason. That's kind of why I'm thinking about adopting like the pencil / marker art style rather than like the syrup ink based, you know, outline kind of thing that I've been trying to do for such a long time. Because I really like how that one picture came out, and I'm excited for how this one's coming out. Yeah, so to go along with that one commenter that showed up on my video, people are just gonna hate you for just existing. And the trick to life is, I don't know what happened on the evolution chain, or like what timeline this started changing, but something in us has kind of stopped us from, it's caused us to be more insecure about who we are and the type of people we want to be. It's stopped us from being as social as we used to be. You need to be unapologetically yourself. You really do. And that's what I'm doing. I know gaming YouTubers are kind of, less than dime a dozen. I've been dreaming about doing that type of thing since I was 14, and it kind of feels like I'm a drop in the biggest hat in the world. So, but I'm trying my best. I'm still, the goal is to do what I want to do. It really is. That is the goal. Something about this doesn't look fully right. Maybe it's just too harsh. But yeah. And I really want to do more skits. Biggest thing that's been holding me back with that one is actually recording for both you guys. I've yet to show that side of me yet online, and also recording in front of my parents and maybe my little brother. I don't know. But that's actually, it's not their fault. It's definitely me. I have this weird shame about doing it publicly, and that's kind of why I built this room, or my dad built this room for me, but that's why I wanted this room, is so that I could record without anyone watching. And that's why I don't do live streams, is because I'm afraid I'm about to slip up, do something cringy, unrecoverable. So that's why I make sure I trim everything, make sure none of y'all get I don't think anything like that's actually ever happened. If I do something cringy and I leave it in on purpose, it's because I'm going with the joke. So it was meant to be funny. No, it's not them. It's me. I'm holding myself back. I'm holding myself back from what I actually want to do. I was able to make a really, really good skit for quarantine when we were in quarantine, and unfortunately, because I used copyright music, I am not confident in uploading it to YouTube. I really wish I could though. What layer am I even? I think I'm trying to delete this layer. Okay, but it was a really good skit, and that was some of the most fun that we've ever had, and my mom was a big part of it. And the synopsis was like, what goes on when you're in quarantine, and it's just like a big thing about me going insane, stuff like that. This is really good stuff, but I want to do more stuff like that for my channel. I'm just trying to get over that hurdle of being unapologetically myself, but not only unapologetically myself, but in front of people, including my family. Like, actually, my family is far more chill about the type of person I am than they used to be, like many years ago. And that that comes with the people pleaser-ism that is in me, is that some of it still lingers. I don't want to cause people to outwardly cringe unless it was intended. So that's a personal thing that I'm trying to work through. I don't even know what layer I'm working on anymore. I keep trying to erase something on a layer, and it's kind of a wild guess as to what layer I'm actually trying to erase. Is it this one? Because I think I double layered. I did double layer. That's why it's confusing. God dang it. Okay, let's just turn off one of the layers. There we go. That makes things a lot easier. But yes, be unapologetically yourself. It'll make your life tremendously easier. At least that's what I hear. I haven't done it myself quite to the extent of which I would like to, but I hear it's a good thing. I do hear it's a good thing. Okay, what even is this layer? Hold on. What is this layer? I'm confused. Oh, okay, I got you. So we can get rid of this layer and that one. There we go. Now things make sense. Okay. But no, absolutely, being yourself is key. And I'm on this journey too. I know it's kind of hard to take advice from someone who hasn't quite figured it out themselves, but as long as I'm on the wagon, if you're looking for someone who's steering the car, you know, maybe look for someone older, but at least I'm someone who's in the car, so to speak. I'm in for the same ride in which I am trying to talk up. I don't even know if I'm properly saying anything correctly. Okay, so I think we can up the opacity here. Can probably start working on the face. This is exciting. 50 minutes in, and I'd say we got really good work done so far. And I think I'm only halfway through my bullet points. I think I kind of mentioned this earlier about that comment or whatnot, but you know, if you're being yourself and, you know, that bugs people, then, you know, that's more of a reflection of the type of person that they are versus who you are. And, you know, a lot of these things that I'm saying are, you know, somewhat obvious. You can kind of figure it out on your own. There are other things that other people preach, but I tell you, repetition really gets things into your skull. What am I doing? I'm being redundant. That's what I'm doing. The people that have a problem with you being who you are, really, if you can, ignore them. It's a lot harder if it's family, I get it, but seriously, ignore them. If it's someone at work, ignore them. That's just a sign of not fun people, period. Being a people pleaser takes a lot more away from you than you should be giving. In a sense, you're subtracting yourself to add to others, and if others are able to add back to you, then that's wonderful. A lot of people won't. So be careful who you try and add value to, because, you know, that's kind of how a relationship works, you know, mutual or otherwise. So the goal is to add to each other. And if you're doing all the adding and it's just draining you, then you're trying too hard. You're giving out too much energy. What is this face right now? I'm not sure I'm digging the face. I don't know what's going on. Okay, bear with me with the face. I'm just gonna trust the process. But no, when you're in a relationship, you should not be. You shouldn't be subtracting yourself to add to others. That's not what should be going on, at least. What do you guys think so far? I mean, I feel like something's off with his eyes almost. They almost feel a little blank, but other than that, I'm very happy with how this came out so far. I feel like the pose is kind of natural. It's quite natural. Another bullet point that I had was it's kind of attached to something I already said earlier, but you know, maybe it'll spark something different. But yeah, detach people that bring you down. Just detach from them. I know it definitely sounds like a lot of a lot of different things. That sounds a lot like the other things that I was saying earlier, but truly, if you can, you know, like, don't go full on hermit mode or anything, but you know, if there are people that legitimately like are kind of like out to ruin your life, they're not fit to be, you know, in your life. Like Miyagi used to say, best defense, no be there. And that even goes with, you know, like the, you know, in the spiritual sense too. If you feel like you have to hide who you are in front of people, you're not around the right people. Sometimes I feel like I have to hide who I am at work, especially around certain people. You know, there's actually quite a few people I can be myself around them. Some others I'm just like, no, that's a waste of energy. It's a waste of time. Yeah, that's another thing. Protect your energy, because the people that, you know, will be the problem in you know, the people that you don't feel safe around, you know, being yourself, they will try and snuff out that light of yours. They will, even if they're silent about it, if they even just like look at you the wrong way, and you know, that'll be powerful enough to try and take your energy away from you. You got to protect yourself. It's not about the people that, you know, don't feel comfortable with you being the way you are. It's about you being who you actually are. You know, it's a little cheesy to, you know, pull out like the YOLO speech or whatever, but you know, it is true. You only live once. If you spend most of it, you know, not being yourself, then what are you doing? What are you doing here? Legitimate question. It's a question I'm asking myself. It's not pointed at you. You know, it's all the things that I'm telling you or asking you or whatnot. you know, they are things that I also say and question about myself. You know, it is not a one-way street. I'm not like that. It's ridiculous. You know, the people who matter, don't mind who you are and use that to your advantage. Because I'm telling you, you know, it's like a big filter. You know, you get to filter out all the people that like really don't matter. You know, the people that, you know, shrug you off, you know, already like expecting to know what type of person you are. You know, the ones that, you know, think you're not gonna make it. You know, you're just a random person, stuff like that. No, that's a filter. Use that to your advantage. If you're yourself and you still have people, you know, talking with you and stuff like that, like, you know, that's a sign. That is a sign. And you don't want people liking you for, you know, a fake version of what you've created. Like, let's say you're really trying hard to impress somebody. You put on this fake persona to try and impress them, and you try, or you fake it till you make it. You know, that only lasts for so long, and then you get tired. You get real tired of being that fake person, and then you start to go insane. Stay around the people that truly care about you, because they'll stick with you. So long story short, being a people pleaser isn't worth it. There's a lot of things that I've probably repeated on loop and stuff like that, but you know, the more you repeat it, the more it sticks. Just repeat with me. It's not worth it, and I'm going to be myself from now on. No shame. Well, I think I've ran out of topics now. I went through all my bullet points, repeated myself a good 20 times. I just realized it's freaking dark on my camera now. Like really freaking dark. Oh, I might just, there we go. Oh, I turned off dark mode. Oh, and it's so hot in here. Okay, so I think I'm just gonna finish up some colors and probably call it a day. I'm very happy with how this came out. Well, honestly, I think because I don't have any much more to say, I think I'm just gonna leave the picture here. I'll finish up later, and I made it a very good, decent distance drawing here, and then I'll put a time lapse at the end, and we'll see what I get. So, you know, yeah, I'm very happy with this so far. Let me know what you think. Sorry for the repeated rambling. I didn't realize how similar all of my bullet points were. You know, I hope that, you know, this might have helped someone out there. Well, thank you for your time, and I hope you have a wonderful night, my friend. Good night.